Hello lovers and friends, a warm welcome to Financial Freedom with Honeybee. My name is Malanda Hanave, and on this channel I am definitely taking you guys through my personal journey to financial freedom. I hope you're going to subscribe, like, share your ideas, comment on this video, and also basically teach me how you are reaching your financial freedom goal, right? On today's episode, I'm going to share with you guys the passive incomes that I have, and this stems from the post that I read earlier in the year where somebody said it doesn't matter how much your net worth is if you do not have passive income or cash flow. He mentioned cash flow, not necessarily passive income, but he said you can have all the net worth that you have in the world or you can have in the world, but if you do not have cash flow, it's gonna be difficult for you, right? And that made me go and basically look at my passive income. So my passive income is definitely my cash flow, right? So for me, I went and basically removed my income from my 9 to 5, right? As much as my income from my 9 to 5 is helping me build my financial freedom journey or my financial freedom goal, I think it was important for me to look at the passive income because that will tell me how far am I from reaching this financial freedom, right? And in so doing, or before I start, I just want to remind you guys that the 2026 tax year is ending end of Feb. On the 28th of Feb, the 2026 tax year ends. And what this means, if you still need to top up your tax-free savings account for this year, you have today until the 28th of Feb, right? And also what I also want to share with you guys is I have recently moved my tax-free savings account from the bank to the stock market, right? I was looking at when the interest rate started dropping. Like at the beginning of the year, I think I was getting around 700 rand per month on my tax-free savings account. By end of the year, I was getting like 400 and something, right? So the interest rate drops. It dropped the whole year. Like I think it dropped by like 2.5%. And that took a lot from my income because my tax-free savings account, whatever income that I'm getting, even though I reinvested, but that is the start of my cash flow, right? So that is part of my cash flow. So if my cash flow is decreasing, that's not a good sign, right? So I moved it in the stock market, and what's nice about me moving it to the stock market is that in Jan I already gotten like a dividend in one of the stocks that I bought. So in my tax-free savings account, obviously I can only buy exchange traded funds, ETFs. So one of the ETFs paid dividends in Jan, and I had bought I think 600 shares in that ETF, and I got like I think 400 rand, and then after tax it was around 320, I believe, right? Or 330, somewhere in that mark, right? So looking at where it's going, and from the time when I started buying those stocks to when I got the dividends, my portfolio had grown by 8,000 rand in 1 month, right? It had grown by 8,000 rand in 1 month. And this is a portfolio where I was getting 400 rand in the bank, right? So that's like what I forgot the percentage now, but that's a lot of increase, maybe 200% increase from what I was getting in the bank. And obviously I'm gonna keep it there for the longest time so that I can basically get dividends, but also I can get the growth, right? So yeah, I have moved from the bank, and as much as I've moved my tax-free savings account from the bank, I still keep my emergency fund from the bank because obviously the interest that I get from the bank is also part of my passive income, right? So currently I've got 3 passive incomes, which is interest from the bank, which I make sure that I make 23,800 rand per tax year, which is 1.9, relatively 1.9 per month. And the second one is the dividends, right? So I get paid dividends. I have bought stocks in companies that pay me dividends the whole year. And not that I have like 12 stocks. There's other companies, there's 3 companies that I have, or 3 ETFs that I have that pays, actually companies. I've got 3 companies that pay dividends 4 times a year. So those companies, they already pay me for the whole year. But I also have some companies that pay twice a year. I've got other companies that pay once a year. So month on month, I have got dividends that get paid. There's months that I've got like 120, then there's month that I get 2.6, and then there's month that I got like 800. So it's not the same amount every month, but that's still money that I'm getting. That's still passive income that I'm getting, right? So basically my source of passive income is interest income from the bank. It is dividends from the stock market, and the last one is the miles from Discovery, right? Obviously this year or last year 2025, I've made relatively less than what I made in 2024. In 2024, if I were to remind you guys, I had made 33,000 for the whole year, right, with Discovery miles. But this year or the last year, which is 2025, I made 21,000 rand, right? So that's like 12,000 drop from the year before. And this is mainly because they've reduced their percentages. So in 2024, for food, I used to get 75% back. Currently, I'm getting 50% back. So that deficit of 25%, it's a lot of money. And there was a couple of months where I bought things online and forgot to put in my, the card that has your details. I forgot to put that card number. And in that way, I lost some of the miles, right? Because I didn't get the cash back, because they didn't get my ID number. So that those purchases didn't get pulled through, right? So, but all in all, I can say that these three disposable income can comfortably give me 5, or let's just say 3 to 6 thousand a month, right? So there's month where I get like nice money, then there's month where I get, like, let's say I've got a dividends of 120 versus a month where I've got a dividends of 2.6. Then there's a month there where I get like companies, so 4 companies paying, maybe giving me like 4,000. So it ranges from 3 to 6,000 rand. And obviously 3 to 6,000 rand, it's not where I need to be. And which takes me to the focus for me for this year. So for this year, for me, the focus would be to increase this dividend income, right? I don't want to increase the interest, because the interest will make me pay tax. So I want to increase the dividends income by buying more stocks, right? So the first 6 months of this year, that would be the ultimate goal for me, to increase my dividends income. And the next 6 months, I will decide then, right? Because I tend to change my mind a lot. So let me just stick to the 6 months first, and then the next 6 months, we're going to see what we're going to do in the next 6 months. I think it's very important to always be fluid in terms of the ways that I am basically building this financial freedom. If I get better ways of making an income, let's say maybe I get in a good investment that I can invest in and it can give me more returns, I'm free to that, right? But obviously I do not want to make quick monies, because also the Bible, obviously, it warns against that. I want to make money that is sustainable. I want to build my wealth little by little. I don't want to get 100% in two months kind of situation, right? So yeah, the first 6 months plan is to increase those dividends income, and then the next 6 months maybe we'll start buying into the rates, property rates. Obviously I don't want to have a physical property now, but I want to buy ETFs that looks into properties, right? So yeah, let's see how this year goes. But the past 2 years, since I started documenting my journey, I have made significant strides, right? I've made significant strides. I've been basically very focused on increasing my net worth. I've been very focused on increasing my earning power. But because I was not tracking all those actions before I started this channel, I realized that the minute I started the channel, I was very motivated to chase this goal or to chase this dream, right? And I can successfully say that it's promising, it's coming along really well. And yeah, let's see how we get to that financial freedom, right? Soon. Obviously soon, I'm not talking 5 years, but definitely soon, right? Let's get there soon. And yeah, I think I've got a lot of plans, but obviously I won't wait for myself to reach financial freedom to start enjoying my life. I'm gonna enjoy it now and then. But yeah, let's see how this year goes. Love you lots. I will see you guys on the next video.